Hey, it's Voss here. I'm doing the fill-in between the minute where it takes them to get from downstairs to up here. That's my new gig. I get to do maybe a minute fill-in. I was supposed to do Starbucks, but I got canceled there today. So I'm just trying to kill a little time now. We have a great show coming up. We have Patrice is here, as you could hear him from 10 miles away. And we got a lot of stuff going on. We got Patrice is at Caroline's. I'm going to plug Patrice's dates Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, May 25th, 26th, 27th, and 28th. Let me tell you, I'm not lying. Patrice is my favorite comic. He is probably one of the best comics in the country, and I'm saying this without a joke. If you have never seen Patrice live, on the stage, not, in a cage, you got to go see him. He's brilliant. He really is brilliant. I mean, he doesn't work the crowd as well as I do, but he's great. Norton, Patrice, Colin, these are the three comics you always want to go see. And Billy, I'll give Billy a little props too. But there's no one like him. Anyhow, we got a lot going on today. Don't I sound like a radio guy here? We got a lot going on. Yesterday they talked about a couple things. They talked about the crocodiles. And I was listening on the... I'm filling in till you guys get to your seats. That's my new gig for a minute. I stopped by. I walked off the movie set I'm working on, so I came by to do a minute. And they're here. I'm done. I'm out.
Yeah, we were live outside.
All right.
Check the gates.
Brian Regan's going to join the show next. And why is Rich Voss here? I don't know. Why isn't he?
Yeah, I thought you were going to say, why is Rich Voss outside and not, in? Why is he here?
I don't... We'll have to ask why he's here. That's fine. I mean, it's going to be a full house today. We'll continue in just a bit. You're checking out the Opie and Anthony Show, a big one today. Patrice O'Neill in studio. Jimmy Norton, of course. Rich Voss stopped by to say hi. And Brian Regan, everybody.
Hey.
Brian
Morning, Regan. Everybody. Also, Psycho Mark is outside.
You might remember Psycho Mark.
He's trying to get back on the show.
Yeah.
And he came to New York because he has a lot of great ideas for the program.
Yeah.
And I guess him and Poe are yelling and screaming at each other.
What's the problem between those two?
Well, if the wireless mic is working, we'll find out. Can you guys hear us?
Yeah. Yellow?
That was great. Radio, thanks.
Yeah.
No, he's kind of calmed down right now. He's getting his photo taken.
Yeah, Ben, what happened?
Mark didn't realize he had to fill out paperwork, and he and Poe got into a huge argument. Then Poe locked him in his office, and that's when I just found out he was here.
Do you know who I am?
I just finished my paperwork. It's like 45 minutes of stuff to get out.
Yeah. You bought a house, by the way.
E-Rock.
Yeah.
Ask him what the problem was real fast so we can move on.
Hey, Mark, they want to know what the problem was.
This guy was trying to do impressions of me at the door.
He's doing
I don't know
voices.
what the problem is. I can't even hear these people. Who's talking to me? You? Opie. Well, can I talk to Opie?
Is he drunk?
The paperwork. What am I, signing my mortgage away here? Forget about it.
My mortgage.
Do you think his ideas are good for the show?
I don't know. Bring him in real fast.
Yeah, get him in here.
Here's some ideas for the show.
It's going to be the toughest audition in history.
Oh, my God, right?
It's not going to be good. I don't sense great ideas are coming.
This is never like, wow, that's really good.
Hey, a bunch of comics supportive group.
It's like a buzzsaw, man.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Psycho Mark.
It's like 4 rapists taking Viagra.
You have to have spina bifida to get in here? You know, it's unbelievable. Sorry, I'll put this in this over here. Hi, everybody. Nice to see everybody.
Mark,
welcome
you
to
been?
XM. Go F yourself.
Here it is.
Hey.
You know everybody, right, Mark?
Yeah, how's it going?
man?
Brian Regan, Rich Voss, Jim Norton, Patrice O'Neill.
A couple of interns.
How you doing, man? Listen to you guys all morning. It was very funny today. Here's Rich Voss hanging out. What, you don't have a job?
No,
More mics.
I'm working. I just stopped by this.
Well, why would that mic work?
There it is.
All right.
To the show that I'm a regular on. How's it been going?
Very good, as a matter of fact.
Good to see you, man.
Yeah, Mark.
What happened? You guys couldn't get Jeff Norris today?
Now, Mark, a lot of people are familiar with Mark from the WNEW program. He got fired before we even did over there.
Yeah.
But he got fired for Sex for Sam.
Right.
But Sex for Sam 2, he got fired on.
2?
We got fired for 3.
So we got fired for 3. A year later, we were out the
fun
door.
and excitement.
Yes.
What was that
Very
about?
fun
I didn't hear about that.
It was a little thing. If you were a guest on the show the next day, you might know. Oh, that's right. So, Mark, you were on our show back at NEW, and a lot of people wondered what the hell happened to you after you left. You went on to Fox. We knew that. Fox. You were working with that fine journalist Bill O'Reilly.
Oh, God, I have a few stories about him.
So what could top the ones that the news said that he was making perverted phone calls and telling women to loofah themselves and sexually harassing his staff?
Loofah themselves? He told them to loofah themselves with a falafel.
That's just sick now.
That's right.
Now that's sick.
God forbid a falafel
abuse.
cart ever blows up in the city.
And he worked for him, miking people or something. I don't know what you actually did.
Believe it or not, I'd mic him up every night, and then I'd give him a good slap before he sat down and torture the rest of America.
And he would do the show.
But
he also produced Alan Combs' radio show.
Mr. Purple Glasses.
He has a radio show?
Yeah.
I know Hannity's got one.
This guy should walk around with a snare drum. I'm really already sick of Ray Liotta face. He really
this is a room full of love.
Karen.
They were gonna find the joke book, Henry. He has a face that looks like it's just healing from a plastic surgery.
How'd you like them all my long?
Jeez, you really do have Kathy Griffin's face.
I'm breaking your balls and you right away you're getting fucking fed. You just get a little fucking manners.
And Bobby Slayton's delivery.
So you got something happened though with Fox, right?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Well, I got fired.
You got fired.
Absolutely. Opie thought I'd last 100 days, but
what happened?
What happened? I told the producer to go F themselves.
You can say fuck. That'll
Oh,
do
that's
it.
true.
Go fuck yourself.
I said go fuck yourself.
No, he did
No
say
more
F.
impressions of me. I can't stand hearing all these guys going, oh, it's Psycho Mark. Oh, ho, ho, I want to be Psycho Mark. Yeah, I hear Anthony doing it. Oh, it's Psycho Mark.
I haven't done the Psycho Mark impression in a while.
You're bombing,
But,
dude. You're bombing. I come in and I have the fucking guns of Navarone pointed at me.
You're
not bombing anymore.
That was a good one.
Come back.
That was a good
That
one.
is fair, though. You come in, it's like everybody like.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a supportive group.
It really is.
No matter how good you are, we're rooting against
That
you.
is true.
Very hard.
I feel like a bicycle.
Uphill battle.
Stand down the village.
Gotta be fair to
Bend
that.
over.
That is very fair.
Where'd Voss go?
He didn't want to be part of this.
He's on the phone with who?
He wanted to go brush his teeth.
All right, so what are we doing with Psycho Mark here?
Well, apparently, from what Ben says, where's Ben? Where's Ben?
Oh!
The Boston compatriot. He took Voss's chair.
I took Voss's hand. Sit down, Voss.
Go ahead.
No.
Sit down, Voss,
on,
with
you
no
might as well get
self-esteem.
Here he is.
So what's going on, Ben, with Psycho Mark?
Mark wanted to come back on the show, so I told him to write down a bunch of ideas. Cause that's what
Something
told me to
he
do.
could do.
Yeah, so he
for
wrote down
the
a bunch
program.
of ideas. So those are the ideas. You got them right there. Eric, why don't you just...
Hey, I got the lock in the Starbucks.
Oh, no one else got any?
Eric, you're right in front of him.
I'd like a copy
all
of
the
those
copies.
ideas,
You're
Hawk.
supposed to take one and pass it down.
Hawk.
Thank you.
I always think we could bring my golf clubs down to Starbucks.
How about our friends here?
Tee some off right there and head them out across the street. No.
Wonderful.
Crickets.
All right.
Well, the first idea.
I like where it says first of all. Okay. First of all.
First of all, you need to bring back the two original voiceover guys that do the promos and bumpers. You can't pitch shift the stuff.
Oh, great.
So now he's telling Steve what his job is.
Somebody should.
Oh.
Wait, what do you mean by that?
No, you remember the old voiceover guys? Remember the guy who said, okay, terrific.
Okay, terrific.
Those guys sounded great.
Okay, terrific.
That guy.
Coming in and out of the bumpers, that's all.
Mark's ideas stink.
Ooh.
Okay, well, there we go. Wait a
right,
minute
well,
now.
I don't know
That's
if
the first thumbs
That
down.
wasn't an idea.
Just sit at a console, get drunk, and watch mudslides and giggle until he fell asleep.
Ooh.
And didn't get the work done.
Jesus.
Wait a minute, didn't get the work done. I always got my job done. If I had to stay there till 12 o'clock on a Friday night, I got it done.
The OK and Terrific guy are going to audition to get back on the show, too, though.
Holy crap.
That wasn't bad, was it?
They're forgetting about our segment really fast.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm hoping for.
Thank God.
Number one. Why don't you describe what idea number one is? If you got a piece of paper,
Yeah, simple.
could
It
Mark
become-
have his ideas?
Well, with poor lady Di, I figured after torturing her for so many years and screaming at her, she's a nasty, filthy, disgusting whore. And now she's gone into all these troubles and she's back and she's, trying to get hold of her life. Why not I become her sponsor? And,
Sponsor her recovery.
Yeah, sponsor
back into
recovery.
productive
Try
life.
and get her a job. Turn her life around from the filthy, disgusting slime.
How would that help the show? I'm hoping she gets hit by a train.
Oh, well, it's a good thing. You have to look and say,
Are you
what
a
are the
born
good
again
things?
Christian all of a
Here's
sudden?
the way it's worded. I become Lady Di's sponsor. It sounds nuts, but it could be a hit.
A hit.
I sponsored her recovery back, like Mark just said, into a productive life, getting her a job, a place to live, and turning her life around. Think of the goodwill for the show, not to mention all the rehab, with a dash in between rehab, places Lisa could sell to. T-O-O-O. Lisa could sell also, like she's selling rehabs. Think of all the rehabs she could sell as well.
All right. Well, I don't know. Is she even in rehab? Have we heard from her? Do we care?
We'll say no to that idea.
All right. That one gets a no.
Boring.
Number 2. This looks like something that'll work out.
Why don't you read the next one so I go, Mark?
Where's your pen, buddy? Somebody more, Eric.
Yeah.
You have to have more than 2 copies. There's 400 people.
I wanted it in his voice, so just
get more copies, or I'll bite your face.
Read it verbatim, Mark.
Oh, I don't have
Yeah.
a copy. I don't have a copy. No one handed me. Oh, what a bonus.
Number 2.
Can we have one of them bring in more copies? You don't have to walk.
You don't have a ceiling fan and some electrical cords so I can do some fucking 360s.
Dave Chappelled him with baseball.
All right, let's go. Wanda sucks.
Trying Regan.
Trying.
Okay, number 2. Number 2.
Your second idea.
Brian's like, what?
You got the idea?
Out of the loop.
I mean the copy.
Their second idea, Mark. Let's go.
Mark, read the second one.
Yeah, the pests.
You can take it right out of Brian's hand.
No, it's fine. The pests, right?
There's a copy.
Read that. The O&A
There it
pests.
is. Yeah, but I like it, the way it's written.
The way it's written.
All right, yes. Right. Pest. Horrible fucking name. Christ, what are we going to do? Pestirate people? I mean, come on. It's, the pests, the O&A pests. Ooh, let's go around and pest people. Ooh.
But you didn't read you didn't read the part that tells what you do.
Here's how it's written.
So what?
Jimmy is a good reader. Let Jimmy read.
I take charge of the pests. And he capitalizes P and pests and puts them in quotes. Horrible fucking name. Christ, what are we going to do with the pests? ... Pestirate people? Gay. Fucking gay!
Oh, yes, exclamation.
That has to be changed. ... X. EX.
Example.
Oh, example. Okay, because usually there'd be a colon effect.
And it'd usually be an EG.
Yes, it would be. Absolutely. The O&A Assault Force.
Oh,
that's cool because we're a Saturday morning cartoon.
Start fucking with people at all the shows.
The Assault Force.
And then there's like a cartoon beam that beams the whole force in front of the TV, and they explain it. And we have boring girl, strong hands.
Have you badmouthed our favorite radio show?
The Solopsis.
Meanwhile, back at the studio,
we could have local spawn parties and recruit new members. Set up a quick reaction force where we torture the shit out of whomever fucks with us.
I like this one. It was called the Ku Klux Klan. And I still do.
Plus, I can show them the correct and legal way we can lash out at folks that mess with us without a lawsuit against the show.
Uh-huh. So you're
going to be law-abiding?
He's taking charge and going to be legal counsel to the pests.
Oh, but only lash out at folks.
Yeah, folks.
Anybody that's called a folks can't do anything all that wrong.
Like people are farming.
Like if they hassle us when we're baking bread.
Listen, folks.
But the way he comes off is like if you go, hey, listen, you faggots, let me run this. And let's do it. Like it's like if the general goes, all right, I hate every one of you motherfuckers. Your breath stink. I think you're gay. But let's do this, baby.
He's trying that kind of whole Gunnery Sergeant Hartman
He completely
thing.
told the pest they ain't shit.
Yeah.
Let me run this. And then we like, let's do it, y'all.
Well, you have to bring people down to nothing before you can then build them up into, like, Marines and stuff. He's just trying to do it in one horribly written paragraph. What takes months.
The pests don't really. I don't know if the pests really need a leader though. Like,
well, you know, but it was an idea. These are just ideas. I threw
the whole
these
thing
ideas.
is
I didn't
pests.
expect them all to come on the radio.
You never see mosquitoes flying in a squadron. You know, they're pests. You know,
we like the name Own a Pest, so we'll say no to number 2.
No to the pest. Let's go to number 3.
Wait, did you already say no to number 1? Right?
Oh yeah, of course we did.
No, we're considering it, Patrice.
Number 3.
We blocked number 1 out like it was a childhood
do this
rape.
with an open mind, though. You know, you never know.
You're right.
Number 3. All right, Jimmy, you want to just read this?
The show needs local interaction, in each market. Because you wouldn't want that to be just one continuous thought. You might as well pause. The show needs local interaction in each market.
Someone should have wrote a "oh yeah."
Someone needs to be in a different market at least once a week. I know that sounds crazy.
Oof. Wacky.
I can't believe I'm actually reading it. But you have to have a sticker stop crazy event once a week in a different location. You can drum up tons of local biz.
1940s. Drum up.
Plus mess with the local competition.
Can I ask you a grammar question real quick? What are a lot of periods after something? What is that supposed to represent?
You're really using it a lot.
Because he fucking just did it. I do it too. I don't know why I do it. It just seems to add something.
It means the thought is continuing, like, and then I'll call you later. ... It means like there's a continuation of that thought. And obviously there has to be a continuation of the thought here because he goes, I know that sounds crazy, but if you have a sticker stop crazy event, ... Let's all pause and examine what that could be.
This is the kind of stuff you put together when you're like high on coke. And you're sitting around with, oh, this is great. This idea.
This is the kind of shit
how do you
write.
know, Rich?
Exactly. When Rich used to sit around and write letters with the pencil in his fist, pointing straight down as opposed to thumb finger technique. ... That's it. It's easy to make dots with the pen in your fist.
Like stabbing the paper.
His dots were before the thought, like it was ... and that's why I stuck his cock.
Patrice, what would you know about thumb and finger technique? Jesus.
He went right to monkey.
I did not. You know what? If you see King Kong, he has Patrice's head and Dante's body.
He went to King Kong. He went right to me.
Well, but you know what? I was doing a coke trying to trash him. How did you bring it to me?
You're a racist hack.
You junkie hack.
Well, Mark, you want to explain this one a little further or what?
Because this sounds crazy.
Yeah.
Just wacky. It's insane. Yeah. It's just crazy. I don't know, jumping in each market, and showing up and just having a representation.
Showing up in a market, sticker stops, and crazy events once a week, every week.
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with the idea that it will drum up a ton of local biz. What type of local crazy thing in each market?
Yeah.
I don't disagree with that, actually.
Like,
boobs.
Boobs. How much you want to be paid for this?
Mm-hmm. Nothing. I'll do it for free.
Oh,
that helps in the negotiation.
I think you
love
should.
Free.
You have a better chance. You have a better chance.
That ain't good when you want your own radio show on that motherfucking channel. I tell you that.
Mark,
once you do it for free, baby, you are Kunta Kinte for life.
Mark, I like to think this is working out, but I think you have a better chance of getting a job at Show World and mopping up the local jizz.
Thank you for your support.
All right, we'll say maybe to 3.
Yeah, 3. Definitely. There's an idea about going to local markets.
You're
you have to
saying
say
maybe
that.
and what, Opie, sending him to the different markets?
What he needs to do is go back to the drawing board and work with.
Who'd you have in mind going to the different markets? Because these guys can't go because
you can't go. Well, you'll be leading the pest, though, aren't you going to be?
Yeah, well, that got shot down like an F-16 by
You're part
Japanese
of the ONA
Zero.
assault force. Remember?
So who did you have planned going on these?
You got development.
I was planning on going out and doing
at the ONA assault force headquarters.
So when you wrote the show needs more local interaction in each market, you meant by you.
Yeah, show up at least once a week in a different market where we have an event.
You.
All right.
Oh, okay.
We'll try to develop idea number 3 and come and get back to us. Number 4.
Well, that's already done.
Yes, number 4, sir.
This motherfucker's crazy.
Lastly, for this little memo. ...
LIL.
Invite with a capital I because...
N-I-A.
If there's 3 periods, there should be a big capital.
And I am not L-M-A-O-N.
Oh, my God.
Fucking computer assholes. Lil. Okay.
Well, there's 2. Lastly, for this little memo, invite me back for a little sit-down.
We should get Lil Abner in here.
And then he sells himself.
How about a bear trap?
I can crush.
I can crush. I got 5 fucking years pent up in me. You simply have to have a How Psycho Mark Bin segment. Say no more.
Capital letters.
That's right.
Minus these comedians.
That's exactly how he wrote it in his mind, too. Say no more, nigga.
Plus...
And he stood up. And let me tell you something. Before he pushed enter to print this out, his hand and finger was up in the air for 10 minutes. Going, okay, this is it. He read it again, and he goes, and send. Bam! He said, bam. Plow! Baby, he made all... Just like a superhero. He did Batman quotes over his own head. He went, plow!
Continue, Jimmy.
I mean, he looked like Christopher Lloyd in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest when the Indian threw the fucking sink through the window.
Say no more.
Say no more.
Say no more.
Say
Plus,
no more.
nobody has listened in the last 4 years.
Thanks.
Jesus.
So as far as they are concerned, I'm still fresh.
I'm breaking your balls and right away you're getting fucking fish.
So why are you?
Well, let's do a How Psycho Mark Bin segment.
I like the idea of that.
There you go. That idea we like.
Because I got 5 fucking years pent up in me.
Pull up a chair.
Pull up a chair and then give us something.
If somebody can clear the field.
5 years. What's on your mind?
Is he part of the? He was part of. I'm not familiar.
Yeah, Mark is from the
NEW
days.
SM or the original
WNEW.
Yes, a very popular part. Mark was very popular.
Most of the people from NEW didn't come with us to XM.
No, wait a minute.
They've all bombed. They've all bombed.
Did they leave?
Most of them.
You just guys didn't have them back. They tried to come with you.
No. Some of them got fired or left before we even left NEW. He got fired a year before we got fired from NEW.
Oh, he wasn't like a character like
yeah, he was.
He died or something. He was
We're busting his balls, but he did some great stuff for us.
Did great radio for us.
I'm going to lobby.
I got arrested with Mark. I spent the night in jail with him on the Voyeur bus. Mark was part of that.
I'm going to lobby for him because, only in radio can you have every single idea start with, I know it sounds nuts. You can't do that in the regular corporate world. Every one of your ideas says, I know it's crazy. I know this is lunacy, but...
Could you imagine passing this memo over to a corporate event?
Yeah. Every memo at Microsoft. ...
I
know this is crazy, but why don't we increase the speed of our processors? ...
I know this is wacko, but why don't we sell all our assets? ... Say no more!
You send me to every market with a fork, and I go to the local Planned Parenthood dumpster.
Hey, I got a great idea. We should hire some more Indians. ...
And that's what the fuck I'm talking about. That's he right there in large letters.
All right, listen. Let's
over
get
the
to
internet.
know.
And somebody says, "Stop yelling."
This would only be crazier if he clipped every letter out of a magazine and pasted it on a piece of paper. The only way this letter could be crazier.
I know this sounds crazy. I killed Jean Benet. ...
Oh, man.
Well, how have you been? Let's do the how have you been segment.
I've been good. It's been nice. Yeah. I've been, working for Fox News. I actually took the year off. Now I'm working for my family.
A year off. There had to be something that happened in that year that might have been exciting.
5 fucking
thrilling.
years of pent-up frustration.
Crush.
Let's go.
It says I can crush.
Yeah, let's start crushing.
I was plowing snow this winter. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah?
Up in Boston. We didn't have much snow to plow, but we plowed enough that we could, Mm. Oh, joy. I'm ready to choke myself.
What?
Where's all the...
5 fucking years pent up.
5 years.
5 years. 5 years, and he had 5 paragraphs worth of pent upness.
So you plowed some snow.
Plus some snow.
And now you're working for your parents.
He had an idea a year.
I'm working for the family.
It was exploding from inside.
There we go. And then, this was 2001. This lady died sponsor. Say no more, baby.
Oh my God.
An idea a year.
Let's go to Jim the trucker. Jim.
Hey guys.
And it would suck if he would have one in December and then one in January. It was a lot of downtime. That was like a big burst of inspiration. The 31st and the 1st.
He had an idea on New Year's Eve,
and then one at 12:10.
Right after.
And then one on Halloween. Let's figure out what season he had his ideas.
Wait a minute, you forgot Christmas.
Hold on. Jim the trucker, go.
Jim.
Hey, how about Psycho doesn't hit the mark? Take it easy, guys.
All right, let's go to Mike in Massachusetts. The reviews are coming in here. Mike?
Hometown boy for Mark?
Hello.
Yeah, you're on.
Mike, come on.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God, you're going in. Your engine's just flamed out. You're in a flat spin.
Wait. I'm Mike Harding, and I'm on the radio. Listen, needless to say, he shouldn't get his job back.
Not for nothing.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Should have been a reason associated with that.
Now, Opie,
nothing.
Opie, have you?
I couldn't do nothing.
Has he reached? Is this the first time he's reaching back out to you guys?
He's been talking to Ben here and there.
And then he was up in Boston when we...
And he was very pissed off that he wasn't on the first half of the Opie and Anthony show today, weren't you? Thank God this wasn't on the first half of the Opie and Anthony show.
Was he reaching out 2 years ago?
Were you?
No, I don't think so.
No.
Why wasn't
I reached out?
Why wasn't you reaching out the entire?
I reached out when you guys got fired and went to XM.
Well, you did an interview on Fox News.
Now apparently, I guess I pissed you off.
Where's
doing
Ben?
An interview, right?
No, that interview was so
Enough
funny.
of the
By the
people
way,
saying that they pissed me off. No, I would have told you.
Are you pissed?
Because I called you.
My ass off. It's one of the funniest things I've ever heard.
Well,
Get Ben in here.
I called Ben the night before.
When people accuse Opie of getting pissed off,
he was
about
mad.
things.
He was
He was pissed at me, and I called him the night before. I called you the night before. I said,
You're
Opie,
pissing him
I
off.
go on Fox.
Psycho
Do you
Mark.
care?
And I said no.
Then why are you mad?
I don't know why he was mad
I'm
either.
not mad. Jimmy, shut the fuck up.
You seem mad.
He said he wasn't mad.
And that's my suit.
What?
That's my.
We always accused him of having
Ben in here.
borrowed a suit from
I'm just trying to find out if
prop department.
if right now he felt he's doing bad and he's just. This is a desperate attempt, but if he was always trying to reach out,
Listen,
he was. Let me tell you,
I reached out to you guys.
Where's
day
Ben?
one.
I'll be completely honest. I'll be completely honest. Mark wasn't a come in, sit down, and do a break with us guy.
Well, tell Ben we
Mark
need him in
was
here.
the guy that was, he'd go out and do crazy stuff, come running in like a drunken psychopath to comment on some broad that was in the studio or something like that.
He was the Danny of the old show.
Not only was I not a come in and sit down guy, I'm a sit down in front of these fucking animals and tear me apart.
Mark was a very popular part of the NAW show. Mark was a very well-known, well-liked part of the show.
He took chicken to Michael Hebranko.
Let me set this up.
That was his first
Hold
bit.
on. Let me set this up. Ben is on the phone with Washington, but Ben to this day plays Psycho Mark's interview from Fox.
Oh, it's
This thing is
classic.
one of the funniest things ever.
It's full of inaccuracies, outright lies.
How long after the booting was this? Was this like a week after we got tossed? Or
When we got tossed for Sex for Sam,
Sex for Sam, the
they
St.
were looking
Patrick's
for
Cathedral.
they were looking for anyone associated with the show to go on TV and talk on our behalf because Ant and I weren't talking. Brian Regan wasn't talking, even though he was on the next day. None of these guys, nobody. Everyone was like, "No way, I'm not fucking talking." Psycho Mark decided to go on Fox and Friends, and yes, you did call me ahead of time.
They
I had
asked
no
me.
problem with it.
I didn't just go out there going, oh, I'm Psycho Mark. You know who I am. I'm going to jump on Fox and Friends.
I think people know if I have a problem with you, I'm going to tell you right to your face.
I fucking heard that interview, and he was all like, "Well, and the existential
this is what
elements of this."
Ben, oh
he
my
turned
God.
into the Psycho Mark that used to do this voiceover work. Have you talked to your doctor about Stacker 2?
I used to love that one.
Ben is in here.
Okay.
Is that mic on?
Yeah, it should be.
Oh, the headphones
Try it
gotta
again.
go. Wow.
Backwards.
It's on.
Okay.
All right.
Backwards.
We're about to play Psycho Mark.
Funniest thing ever.
Fox and Friends. Why is it so funny?
Because it's so inaccurate.
Ooh.
Yeah, you got the
Now,
markets.
time out a second. Now, who did I spend hours before that interview prepping with me? You.
Yeah, but I didn't.
You told me everything to say. I was a puppet. Not me, not bad. No.
That's how we get the markets right. Jesus, I think I would.
I don't care about the fucking markets.
So they picked you up in a limo, right? Or
No, they did not pick me up in a limo.
But he had a suit on so he could look all official.
Yeah.
And then he was talking on our behalf.
Yeah, he was like the closest they could get to anybody to represent the show. And it was somebody who had worked for us a year prior, and then he comes.
Wait a minute, time out a second. I was on the air. I was on the air that day with Ben, with another couple. So.
Oh yeah, he was there. Mark was one of the runners.
So I mean,
all right, you were directly involved.
It was a week.
I wasn't involved.
Wow, how did you swing that, having been fired?
No, he was allowed. Jeremy allowed him to come back.
I used to come back on the show all the time because after I got fired, I was on the bus with Norton.
Yeah, because we bitched and complained and told, look, he does good stuff for us. You got to at least let him continue.
I have no frame of time.
But you got to hear this interview because he's talking.
The dinosaurs came.
He's talking on our behalf. He's getting everything wrong. He's in a suit, looking all official. To this day, Ben plays it like once a week just to laugh.
Hilarious.
Look at Mark. He's nuts.
Listen to this. And remember, this happened like literally within a few days of us getting fired.
This was on
the next day.
It was a Friday. We got fired on the Thursday. This was on
we got
Friday
fired Friday officially.
But it was the Friday morning. The statement went out at 4:00 on a Thursday.
Oh, all right. Then maybe it was Thursday.
Ouch.
I don't want to remember anything.
I think it was the Thursday. Actually, I do remember that. We were in Starbucks.
This is hurting.
So is the next day. Here we go. Listen to this.
Unfortunately for a couple of guys who were making millions of dollars a year, Opie and Anthony in New York City, they were fired yesterday after a couple was caught having sex at St. Patrick's Cathedral, and it was all being broadcast on their radio show.
Joining us now with some exclusive details is a member of that cast, Mark Walsh, better known to Opie and Anthony, on those Opie and Anthony listeners as Psycho Mark.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Good.
Thanks for having me on.
Mark,
see, he's got the smooth voice.
Yeah,
he's about to say some official
Thanks
stuff.
for having me on, fellas.
Attention, Red Line passengeros. No fumare on the Red Line arrows.
I've a busy schedule. I'm doing a lot of other talk shows.
Yeah, right after this segment, he's back to miking everyone at Fox.
They take the suit off. He's back in a T-shirt and jeans, miking the next guest.
Get over here. O'Reilly needs his mic wrapped around his nuts.
But he's very official sounding. Thank you for having me.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Good.
Thanks for having me on.
Mark, it's a thrill to see you again, especially clean.
Yeah, exactly. With a suit and everything.
I know. I didn't know you
I feel like a pundit,
Give it back to John Scott at the end of the show. That's part of the deal.
Fair deal.
But, Mark, let's talk seriously what happened. Fred was the one, our producer, here to inform you about what happened. You've talked to Opie and Anthony since. What's their feeling about getting
Well, it was a huge thing.
Okay, hold on. I had not spoken with you at all since we were fired. By that point, as you spoke with Opie and Anthony, did Mark speak with you?
He says honestly, I don't even remember if you spoke to me.
No, because I called you. I wasn't going to go on there without your permission.
Okay.
I was in another world. If you say I did, I believe you, actually.
So then it's just the general Opie and... Either of us have the power of attorney to use the Opie and Anthony name.
All right, here we go.
Happened. You've talked to Opie and Anthony since. What's their feeling about getting...
Well, it was a huge thing, needless to say. I mean, needless to say, the entire stunt was a bad thing.
Needless to say,
I've never heard back-to-back needless to say.
Needless to say.
That is really needless.
That should be like matter and antimatter. Your mouth should explode when you say those things back-to-back.
That phone call from about 10 minutes ago was doing the callback.
Doesn't it, needless to say, make it really important?
Then why are we having this interview?
Needless to say, say no more.
It's like -1 and +1. It's just 0. You say needless to say, silence.
How they feel? Well, Opie was sad, ... And Anthony also wasn't feeling well either, ...
Needless to say.
Say no more.
I know it sounds nuts, but...
Crazy disclaimers that aren't needed.
I love this.
But he's gonna tell the whole nation that it was a bad stunt, a bad idea. Who had the cunt sign on TV?
Yes. That was
But you're going to tell everyone that we did wrong, and
So
it was
what?
a bad thing.
I didn't get credit for the cunt sign for a long time.
We finally gave you credit.
That's it. Yeah. Well, it was a huge thing, needless to say. I mean, needless to say, the entire stunt was a bad thing. What happened was entirely wrong, and the boys are very upset that it even happened.
What was at stake here was a trip to the Sam Adams plant up in Massachusetts, and whoever got the most points would get the free trip, right?
Exactly.
And the way you get points is
you go around town, and the couples would engage in lewd acts, in different ways.
They try to say it casually, you know.
They would engage in lewd acts.
You know, lewd acts.
Yeah. He's just trying to sound intelligent.
No, I'm not sure.
And like an expert. It's Psycho Mark. That's what makes this so funny.
Lewd acts in different places.
So they'd have sex in different places.
Exactly.
For points, and then someone picked the St. Patrick's Cathedral, and even with a 40-second delay,
well, what happened?
Aired it?
What happened before the show was, and it was explained to everybody that took part in the show, do not go to St. Patrick's Cathedral. This was told to all the participants before we even went on air that day. Okay.
Can I ask you something? Were you in that? Were you in that meeting?
No, but I remember the first sex with Sam. Don't go to St. Pat's. Don't fuck with the Catholics.
He wasn't even in the meeting.
No.
What?
It was explained.
You weren't in the meeting. You weren't allowed in the building anymore.
Needless to attend meeting, I just say.
I remember the first meeting from the first sex with Sam. Don't go near St. fucking Pat's.
He had a memory of a rumor.
Of a rumor.
But I mean, come on.
Because before the event, we all said, no, you weren't there. You weren't allowed in the building anymore.
It's explained to everybody that took part in the show. Do not go to St. Patrick's Cathedral. This was told to all the participants before we even went on air that day, okay?
But can I just jump in real quick? I mean, any church. There was like 25 points that you could get for going into a church. Wouldn't you just think any church would blow people's
most
minds?
of the stuff that happens is it's radio. It's on air.
Is this Mark?
It's a description.
Yeah. Him and the other guy, they sound exactly alike.
Mark's putting on his broadcaster voice.
He's fucking mocking the other guy. The guy's like, so what happened? What happened? Well, needless to say.
Go fuck yourself.
I had to get the papers. Get the papers.
He's a complete ass. I don't even know who's who.
It's radio. It's on air. It's a description. It's theater of the mind, so to speak. In other words, those acts
So to speak, and in other words, back to back. Say no more.
In other words, say no more. A bird in the hand, worth two in the bush. Don't burn your bridges before they hatch.
That's right.
Keep your head above water and make your way if you can. Temporary
Keep your feet on the
layoff
ground.
is what I think is going to happen.
And keep reaching for the stars.
I think there's going to be some good times. Easy credit is a ripoff. With some hard work and determination, Opie and Anthony will be moving on up to the east side to a deluxe apartment. Maybe not in the sky, but at least in Long Island.
Needless to say.
They feel like a schlemiel and a schlemazel.
Now, they could get a job with Haas and Trevor Incorporated.
Mark is not thrilled with this at all.
Hey, give a steady chance, they'll take it. Give a steady rule, they'll break it.
Hey, and any move, they'll make it. And they are going to make it if they try.
Doing it their way.
All right, back to Mark. His exclusive interview.
Wait a minute, Opie. Let me put this A on my on everything I own.
Here we go. Happens is it's radio. It's on air. It's a description. It's theater of the mind, so to speak. In other words, those acts necessarily aren't really happening, but they are described as on the air.
Now, wait a minute. Are you saying they didn't really have sex? Because the usher says the people were partially naked.
I'm not going to get into the...
If they wanted to do theater of the mind, they would have been in a car outside and said, we're inside the church, okay.
Well, what happened was there's a fail-safe system on the show. There's a 40-second delay that they use. In other words, they have up to 10 times to dump out of the show within 40 seconds. So if something gets aired that's inappropriate, there's an opportunity to take it off the show.
So why didn't they dump it?
Well, that's what happened. There's a whole chain of command, the system that works with the program director and the general manager.
I don't know who the fuck it sounds like a schizophrenic conversation. They both sound alike.
Here's how you figure it out. Question reporter Drek Mark. He's talking in octagons.
Who the fuck said who said theater of the mind?
He did.
I did. What the fuck was you talking? You know, the Stanislavski method. What? Yes, I had to play a policeman once, and I rode in the back of a police car. What happened?
I just love the fact that he asked Mark, if it's theater of the mind, why didn't they do it somewhere else? And Mark goes, well, there is a dump button. You went into, like, outer space.
Well, they said it was theater of the mind, and they're saying so they didn't necessarily have a... Well, I'm not going to get into detail.
I'm not kidding.
You know what?
We're going to let the president field this question.
The reporter tapped in. He only has 2 levels of intelligence, and the reporter went to the 3rd level. And so he goes, theater of the mind. And that nigga said, oh, shit. No comment. That's his last level of shit. It's the 9th circle of dumbness.
After theater of the mind, he started just going, 2 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
or like when Captain Kirk fucks with one of them robot things by getting him into a paradox. Mark's head just starts smoking. If you are imperfect, then you must destroy yourself. Must destroy.
He's the computer in war games. The only way to win is not to play.
Well, I believe Joshua could best answer that question. Now, the Whopper computer has a 40-second cutoff point.
Why don't you unplug the goddamn dump button?
All right, continuing.
Theater of the mind. And the reporter must have seen the blood trickling out of all his ears and his eyes started bleeding.
Mark's theater of the mind is playing Ishtar nonstop.
As he went into Westworld malfunction mode, Yul Brynner, he took off his face. He started to fix his eye at the sink like the Terminator.
He was ready to say to the reporter, you pig-eyed sack of shit.
Let me go to Jeremy from Jersey. Jeremy, fast. Get in fast.
Right now, it's theater of the mindless.
Oh, shit. Motherfucker.
All right, back to the interview.
That's classic stuff.
It works with the program director and the general manager.
Both suspended.
Well, they both have boxes in their office and are able to dump out of the show at any time. Now, they should have been on the post that afternoon monitoring the show. Now, these guys, it's Opie and Anthony. You know, you're not talking about, you don't go to them for news, weather,
This is not Paul Harvey.
Exactly. You don't tune into Fox for dirty jokes. They're shock jocks.
Right.
So you got to stay on top of them all the time.
So yesterday they got fuck.
We got to stay on top of you all the time.
He's trying to make radio friendly the line. You don't go to us to hard hitting news, and you don't go to CNN for dick jokes.
Right.
Like that's what we used to say.
Right.
And you try to clean that up.
You were the most out of control member of the old show.
Yeah.
We had to stay on top of you.
What are you talking about? I did everything you guys asked me to do.
You were
and
the
did 110% more.
Yes. You would always do
So the problem being
this interview.
Oh shit! It's the lies.
I have some weird feeling
You guys
that
wanted to play it.
He did this for you, though.
He wanted to help us out.
Oh, yeah. Really for you in some...
Oh, it is.
Wait till you hear what he says about us coming up.
Shock jocks.
Right.
So you got to stay on top of them all the time.
So yesterday they got fired. The general manager and the program director have been suspended. Are they going to get canned too?
Most likely. And what happened is the formats will probably change at the station. You'll probably see a switch probably to light music.
So they're going to lose all that talk and that dramatic switch that Parmesan made happen.
Well, they're on several markets as well. They're number one in Philly. They're number one in Buffalo. They're number one in Cleveland.
Where do they?
Detroit.
We were never on.
Did you catch? It sounded good at the time. Hey, we figured it out.
Have never heard of
Here's his fucking profile. Here is Mark's profile. Did you hear? He said, if you turn it back, he said 3 cities that were correct.
Right.
Mark is dumb after the 4th thing. So he came in here with 4 fucking ideas.
Yeah.
He had 4 cities. He went Buffalo, they're number 1. Then at the 4th thing, the reporter asked him 4 questions. On the 5th one, he went
Tahiti.
He malfunctioned after the dash.
All right, listen, we'll play it again. Here.
Holy shit!
All that talk and that dramatic switch that Parmesan made happen.
Well, they're on several markets as well. They're number one in Philly. They're number one in Buffalo. They're number one in Cleveland.
Where do they?
Detroit.
Malfunction! Danger! Hey,
what out of four? What can I do?
Detroit.
He had to, in the Terminator when the motherfucker goes, it stinks in there. And he had to run through his. Yeah. He only has 4 answers.
Warning.
Detroit.
Fumbling incompetent. Warning.
Sweden, Haiti, Russia.
Warning.
Are there any other cities? There's a dump button. There's a dump
Warning.
All right, we get it. Let's move on with this.
You bubble-headed booby.
This is only a 4-minute interview. We've been at it 20 minutes.
Detroit.
Do they move to another station and do their show from here? Because they were fired from Boston, were
Exactly.
they not?
They were also fired.
Doing something.
But you know what? I spoke to them last
the mayor's
night.
death. Is that correct, Mark?
Yes, for the mayor's death.
Yeah, they made believe the mayor died.
But this is Opie and Anthony. I mean, these guys, they said the mayor was dead on April Fool's Day. Right. I mean, come on. Who's going to really believe it?
Ultimately, this just how many people know it's April 1st?
Come on.
Ultimately, though, this shows you how far afield shock jocks have gotten. I mean, it used to be just Howard Stern just talking quasi-dirty, but now we're having sex in a church. The Catholic League, with 350 members, now says, you know what, since they got canned, we're
350 members? You dumb motherfucker. 350 members, there's a force to be reckoned with. 350,000, you jizzbag.
It's like a card game.
It's a Catholic League. They have 7 members, and each one has a cousin. Ass.
In a church, the Catholic League, with 350 members, now says, you know what, since they got canned, we're not going to push for WNEW to lose their license. So they're stepping away from it.
Which is a fair shot, and they had every right to be mad. I mean, Bill Donahue is a good guy, and he had every right to be upset.
Real quickly, did they ever talk about Opie and Anthony? Did they ever sit there and say, well, maybe this is going over the line, or was it just like, hey, let's push the envelope?
With that show, it happened so fast. In other words, it made the air, and it's like, you stepped in crap. Oh, God. What do? You're in it. And it was too late.
Can we bleep that out?
It was
all right. Mark, my last question, are they going to sue to get their jobs back? Because this is what they do. They might have a lawyer that...
Chances are they're in negotiations right now with another company. And we'll probably see them back on the air shortly.
So they'll take millions of dollars from CBS for leaving and go get another job someplace else.
Most likely that's exactly what's going to happen.
All right, Mark Walsh, thanks very much for giving us the exclusive details on the morning show.
Robin.
All right, thanks very much.
Well, no shit.
He said we were in negotiations with another company. We'd be back on the air shortly. 2 years, 3 months later.
Shortly.
Where did you get that part from? We weren't in negotiations.
Relative to a human lifespan,
making it up.
It is pretty short.
Shortly when looking at the Big Bang.
I sat with Sparks the whole night for hours before I went on that interview, and we talked about the whole thing, what we were going to say, what I was going to say.
You are actually defending yourself by saying you were briefed by Ben Sparks.
I'm too retarded. I can't even remember more than 4 things. How am I supposed to do it?
If he was briefed by Ben, if he was briefed by Ben, they would every question he would have went, well.
Here comes Ben.
I didn't brief you on everything.
Bullshit. We sat in a bar and we sat there and drank and we're like, what should I talk about when I go on?
You were all on your own. You were on.
Oh, that's it. Send me down the river like a Vietnamese
down the river. You went on. You were dying to go on. You were dying for the attention.
Ooh.
Hey, look, you get it where you can. What can I say?
I love that interview.
Yes. All right.
I'm glad it.
A lot of people.
It is funny though. It is funny.
Are we losing Brian Regan without you saying much?
No. I'm gonna hang.
All right.
We gotta get to Regan because a lot of people are saying,
this is cool. I'm enjoying this.
Why are we dealing with Mark when Brian is here in the studio? They're very upset.
I thought the same thing. I looked in this room. I says, "Why am I walking?"
Let's play Brian's interview that he did with Fox.
Let me explain
At
to
least
Brian
he gets our markets right.
Trying Regan because Brian's like, well, they were doing some bit and we were just
We bombed horribly, and well, go ahead.
We were making up comedian names with bombs like Laurel and Hardley, and or just bad any comedian name that we could find, and just Brian Rogers was trying.
I like it.
D.L. Thruly.
D.L. Thruly is funny.
Before we're done with
the funniest one was when someone just wrote in Rich Voss.
Here's Dugout Doug.
What's up, show? Hi, Mark. Great to hear you on the air again. I'm a big fan. But I understand you asked for the pests, and I'm sorry, sir, but you can't have them. You can't just ask for the pests, Mark. You have to take them.
Time out a second. I'm not asking for the pests, all right? This was a memo I wrote to the guys. Little did I know it would be put on air, like Sparks likes to do, and pull everyone's pants down. It was just an idea. I'm not asking to be the pest.
It says, too, I take charge of the pests.
It's an idea.
Mark,
yeah.
I didn't take charge of the pests.
Who?
I went out and I earned it, and I was handed the position.
Okay,
when you were taking a year off working for the family, I was putting up billboards in Orlando. I was advertising for XM on Sirius. I was taking over radio, my friend. I and all the pests came together to work for the boys, not to do what we were asked, like you were asked. But we did what we weren't asked. We went above and beyond what the show wanted, and we delivered every time.
And I didn't.
Damn good.
I asked for it, and I didn't.
All right.
Make it famous, Mark. Just understand. You were a big diamond in the rough when they were in 2 markets. But nationwide, they need star power like me.
So there's going to be no O&A assault force?
You don't like the assault force?
On Mark?
No, the assault force name.
The name that he came up with, O&A Assault Force.
We got away from the Army thing because every other stupid show has an Army.
Yeah.
We're pests. We pester.
There you go. Okay, idea is done.
All right, Doug,
let's put it to bed.
Thank you.
We don't have an Army. Our fans are called O&A AIDS.
All right, Mark, take number 3 and work on it, and report back to us.
You guys should do like
local interaction.
Breakfast flakes, you know.
You think that in
the wacky morning zoo or something? You know what I'm saying?
Wake up.
Yeah,
wake up with the breakfast flakes.
Yeah, there you go.
It sounds nice and it sounds sweet.
All right, we're gonna take a break. Brian Regan's at Caroline's this weekend. We don't even have to mention that. You sell out all the time now.
Mary Tyler.
Do we have to mention?
I have no idea.
Call him BR. It'll sell out.
We don't have to mention Brian Regan at Caroline's.
Make sure they know he's at Caroline's. 212-757-4100. It's tonight, right?
Tonight through Sunday.
Tonight through Sunday is Brian Regan. Next week is Patrice. Tonight through Sunday is Brian Regan.
You know what's great about Brian Regan going to Caroline's? We all call Greg Charles to get tickets. And
I know.
And he goes out of his mind because he's got sold-out shows around the clock. And then we'll call last minute and go, hey, Greg, calling in a favor. I need 8 seats for Brian Regan.
I called early in the week when I first heard that you were coming in. I called, and then the thing is, whenever I go see other comics, it's usually Greg. I need me plus 1 or 2, and with Brian, it's Greg. It's me and 18. I need the whole thing. And the stage. Can we just have a few people on?
And then you see people outside the club all confused. But I got my reservations 3 weeks ago.
They take us in through the kitchen. You need everybody. You too.
I think if they actually take them out of their seats and then seat you guys there.
They're a Mousetrap guy go to the show.
What happened?
Remember the Mousetrap? Did the Mousetrap guy go?
Right, Mousetrap guy
from last time.
Yeah, he did.
He did. He showed up.
Yeah, I would guess so. Yeah.
All right.
Greg Charles try to sway you towards Patrice's show next week. Hey, look, you don't want to see Patrice?
I'll go see Patrice.
I will be going to see Patrice as well.
I love going to Carolina.
But I'll be going to see Brian Regan Saturday.
Thank you.
I need a table
please, fellas, do me a favor.
Greg, I need a table for 6.
To see me. So please, don't come thinking they're going to be there. They'll never show up. They may go to Norton's, which you could go to, too.
Next week
at the Stretch Factory.
Wait, the more problems you have, the more I want you at my show. I'll take all of you dregs at my show.
Me, Norton, Patrice, Billy Burr, and Geraldo did a show last week. No one came from here. The benefit, the fundraiser.
They were all O&A people.
No, it was all
these guys.
Oh, these guys. We're talking about them. Yeah, because I just don't want if
what day was it?
Thursday.
Thursday, thank you.
Go out
I'm going to go out and party it up Thursday. leave Caroline's and take a cab to FM.
That's right, Rich. What are you thinking?
We have to sleep. We're not stand-up comics sleeping until noon every day.
Absolutely.
First of all,
we're radio people.
First of all, middle-aged, beat-down men. I don't want to be fired no more. Back in the day, you would drink and do coke and drink heroin and then do your show at 5 in the morning, you fucking pussy. All of a sudden, 5 in the morning, you're on it. All of a sudden, boss gets fucking berated by you.
Young, hip-hop black man. What the hell are you?
Shit, once my insulin level goes up, I gotta sleep right now.
Your fucking street cred went down the shitter when you started talking about points and mortgages.
Hours ago.
Fuck them niggas. They ain't paying my mortgage.
Brian Regan at Caroline's. I don't know if there's tickets. 212-757-4100 all weekend long with Brian Regan. And we'll do another segment even though we're in bonus time now.
You're welcome, shit dicks.
Now we're working for free. That's what we do now.
Just like me. When I do Black Phillip and Eric Logan doesn't call me back. Motherfucker.
Hi. There's nothing
Brian Regan at Caroline's all weekend long. Good luck getting a fucking ticket.
Yeah.
212-757-4100.
I don't think if you use language like that, you're going to be talking to people that Brian entertains anyway.
Brian's a great guy. During the break, he's congratulating us on the new deal and stuff.
Yeah, man, you guys are doing good.
And then he casually goes, so what time you start? I'm like, 6. We're up to 5 hours and 15 minutes of radio.
Yeah,
with no end in sight
go
today.
To 6 or it's open-ended. It's like a baseball game.
You got to constantly think of things to talk about. there must be there's no idea that's turned down. The new policy must be if you think of it, go with it. If it's a thought, then that'll be a half hour.
Yeah. Why do you think we played that raw audio of us just doing liners today?
Yeah, that was pretty much it. Whatever pops in your head, you just talk about it. I lost the gas cap yesterday. I was getting gas. I left it up on top. I need a new one. I don't even know where to buy them. Do you know? Callers, call us up and tell us.
I told Brian you started admitting stuff you thought you would never admit on the radio just to fill time. Oh, yeah, I shit my pants in the middle of the night. Anyone else? Sometimes.
Yeah, who doesn't?
Callers, if you've done that, give us a call. Let us know if you've done the same.
I think I got 20 minutes on this.
Here. And then you get done with the show, and especially if we go the whole route and do like a 6-hour show, completely run dry. You are out. There's nothing left to talk about. And then somehow, overnight, even though you've done nothing but go home and go to sleep, you wake up and now have 6 more hours of stuff to talk about.
Yeah,
how the hell does this even work?
I don't know.
Hey, I didn't say it's good stuff. I just said it's stuff.
You know that feeling, you guys, when you hit the stage and sometimes you have like an outline and sometimes you don't, you know? I mean, I'm sure you just get up there and just start.
You should talk to me.
Come on. Yeah, boss is very confused right now.
Brian, I know it's like you're talking to, like when you see a really hot girl, you got to talk to her ugly friend. I know that's what you did, and
no.
It's okay. He understands. They understand.
Boss is like,
here's
what's an outline?
Boss is
how do you ladies pick your outfit?
Here's boss's outline. Do 15 minutes, bring up middle.
Listen, boss is just, it seems to me, after knowing you for so many years, that you use your stand-up comedy. Your comedy is like your last priority. You're using it to try to get somewhere else. Oh, no, like where Brian, it's his gig. He's honed this thing. That's why they pull that curtain away at Caroline's that exposes those. Yeah, there's more seats back there.
I didn't realize until when I was plugging here hard one time that there was stuff behind. There's more chairs.
You know the wall comes down behind there, Brian. Let's make him feel bad. That back wall actually opens up, and there's even more chairs.
When Brian's there, they removed the curtain. They removed the bar that the curtain slides on, because that gives people more room.
They take down walls and shit.
You can see the kitchen, right? Because they take down the kitchen wall when Brian's in this motherfucker.
Take out the ceiling so you can go upstairs and watch.
There's a balcony, motherfucker.
I got skyboxes.
When he's at Caroline's, he also sells out the Improv the same week.
Listen, let's go to Tom in Jersey. Tom.
Hey, good morning, guys. You suck.
Welcome,
Thank you, Tom.
Brian, I love you. No homo.
Hey, man.
I saw Brian at the Borgata a couple weeks ago, and after the normal heckling that we normally give him, he came out for an encore. and people were yelling, "Donut lady, do the donut lady," and he was like, "Okay, I'll do the donut thing." And he just killed.
That's exactly how you
He's the funniest fucker I've ever seen.
Hey, man, I appreciate the kind words, man.
That validating shit. And he starts out, he prefaces it by saying he gave him a hard time. As if to say, you've proven yourself to me.
Yeah, man.
Suck a dick,
That's
motherfucker.
right.
Hate motherfuckers like you at the show.
Here's what we hate. The fact that you said Brian is the funniest motherfucker you ever seen, and we all do stand-up. That's what hurts.
Well,
you didn't let him
wants
finish.
to say that, too.
Yeah, you didn't let him finish.
Mr. fucking humble Brian Regan.
Yeah, tied with all you guys.
Brian's all humble, too. When he gets heckled, it'll be like, hey, just trying to do my act, guys. It's all right. No, he's got a right to say whatever he wants to talk. And then we get back stage to say hi to him. He pins us against the wall. Keep your fucking people off of me. I'm trying to work.
We tell
dark side.
We tell one story when we were really big at NEW, and Brian Regan. There was one time you came into town. They did like 4 shows in one night. They just piled them into Caroline, and we saw him backstage, and he's doing shots and stuff because it's a true story. And I know you usually don't drink and do your comedy, but our audience drove him to drink this one night because they were yelling out.
Shut up.
They were yelling out.
The
all
big yellow one's the sun. Yeah, he knows.
By the 4th show,
he wrote it.
Hey guys, you want to do some shots?
Some shots? Hey, I got some heroin here. I just took it up.
Doesn't sound right coming out of that innocent voice.
You guys want to do some shooters?
Tie me off. I'll shoot you. Did you bring your works?
Because he couldn't go.
I got mine.
He couldn't go 2 minutes without some drunk yelling out another Brian Regan bit.
Big black one's Patrice.
In Philly, wait a minute.
That was funny.
In Philly, like I would get off, right? It would be like they would give me a standing O in Philly, right? It'd be one of the first standing O's I got. And then wait a minute. And I get off, but I get off, and people go, "Whoa, that was great!" And it was all O&A fans. I would go, "That fucking, what the fuck was that?" Because you have to become.
Yeah.
That's why I started doing all the Spider-Man flick come in a girl's face thing. I started letting them do the show. I start going, "Hey, Spider-Man." They start going, "Whoa, pink sock." I go ahead, baby, tell me what a pink sock is. "Well, it's when your fucker and her asshole comes out of her eyes." And I go, "Good one. How about you?" And then I go, "Good night." Whoa! You were great.
You know what? You could have told that story without going, "I got a standing O." You had to start on.
I had to say, I'm going to tell you why I had to say it, you fucking trying. Leave mental games to people who are mentally able to do it. I said it for the reason to explain that usually a standing O is a good thing, you fucking asshole.
That is true, Rich.
Fucking dick.
All right, let's go to Reno and say hi to Ryan. Ryan, what's up?
Hey, good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Let's bring back the funny with Brian Regan. Brian, I saw your HBO comedy special, and it was the best. But there's a gal on Pal Talk that really wants to hire you for a gig. Happy Typing Girl is looking for a stripper comedian for her Girls of Pal Talk slumber party.
Yeah.
Brian, you'd be great at that.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff I'm trying to get into. So, I'll give it my manager's information.
This is what I'm saying. This fucking guy.
See, listen to this
guy. This is what I'm saying. They have no respect. Why would you ask Brian Regan to do that? He wouldn't even. You know why he would see something like that? To knock on the door and ask directions on how to get to Borgata, and your fucking house was on the way. Fucking asshole. And you know he's a drunk. Just shut up. And he's trying to speak as if he has some dignity. You goddamn asshole. Brian.
All right.
Brian Regan.
Not only is it beneath Brian, but have you seen Brian's body?
Yeah, 2 reasons I won't be doing that.
Hey, you want to get the latest on Paul McCartney? And then we'll get out of here?
Yes. Let's hit some current events.
The latest. Hard. Nothing. No, I caught myself.
All right.
Here's what I almost did.
Okay.
I almost made a leg joke about his wife, which there's nothing better than his wife having one leg.
Right.
I almost said, she hits the brakes and gas with the same leg, but then I realized so does every human being who drives.
Properly.
That's the right way to do it.
Wow.
They do a leg joke in one of these papers.
Did they?
Yeah, they say that, I'm not making this up, Paul McCartney is going to lose an arm and a leg in the divorce. That's a headline.
That is making a joke.
How rude
making
is that?
light of her handicap.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Let me ask you something. At what point does the spouse get the money? Is it at the divorce point?
It's forever.
No.
You just keep giving it.
But can he? What I think he should do is just
Brian,
start.
Are you getting side pussy? Brian Regan is asking side pussy questions in case he gets caught. Brian Regan finally getting some star pussy.
Let Brian finish.
Yes, Brian.
I'm just curious. Can he start selling all his assets right now?
No.
Just like sell like all his publishing rights for like $300 and go, hey, I've lived like a king since I was a kid, and now you get half of $300.
I think if you want to cut off your nose to spite your face, you would do that. But no, they look at what you did. They look at what you sold. Right if a woman files for divorce against you, let's just take some hypothetical situation and say a woman has filed divorce against you because you have a girlfriend. I'm pulling that out of thin air. Let's see that happen.
Oh, that's a popular thing.
Yeah, that happens.
Sure, there's plenty of scumbag guys.
Right, and some ones that are just disgusted. and you can't then sell everything. And
That's
then tuck the money away somewhere because you have to have records of where everything was.
No, I'm not saying tuck the money away. I'm saying literally sell it for $300.
Yeah, but then what are you going to do? You need
and be broke.
Or how about this?
But isn't it better to be half broke than full broke?
I'm saying if he wanted to
really leave it without a leg to stand on.
My assets are worth $300.
Yeah, that's exactly
that makes a lot of sense what he's saying.
If he's saying
it does, but that takes a big set of balls. You like it, of course, because it's screwing over. It's screwing over the broad, but you're also screwing over yourself.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. He's lived like a king since he was a kid. Maybe he'll go, I don't mind living in a studio apartment. I've already lived the life. And I'm going to sell everything I have.
Do you need a dishwasher? Do you need someone to wash your dish, bloke? I can't really see Paul going on Social Security. Why? Because I wasn't giving that cunt a cent. I don't think he's gonna pull that one.
For 4 years, I've been fucking a sleeping pelican.
Jesus. Wow. Good idea. If we do see Brian working at an IHOP, we know what happened.
Wait a minute. No one asked that question. Something's going on with Brian. Nobody asked that question. Brian's like, hey, man, it's like we talk about murder. Go, hey, so if what do you think is easier to kill a bitch? You think it's easier to put her in a plastic bag or paper?
Yeah, you love when people just come out with that question. Do you think you could kill someone without anyone ever knowing? Like, what's your idea?
And he asked it completely. It was dancing. He wanted the information.
Yeah.
What would you do? Brian, what's going on, dude? Brian,
if you extorted millions from your company, I'm just saying, if you did, some guy was going to find out, would you kill him or try to bring him in on it?
If you got another girl pregnant, but you were married, and this bitch was showing, if I took her on a roller coaster ride and threw her off, would I?
Is there a state where 12 is okay? I'm just asking.
Brian, what's going on with your marriage?
Oh, man, that's all good. Everything is good.
Oh, shit.
I know it's not sounding like that with this line of questioning, but everything is good.
Because, Brian, you was too... It went right to that question. Yeah,
Can he murder her?
It was because it was Paul McCartney. We're talking about a divorce. It's not like
money.
If you pulled it out during a story about the stock market,
right,
that would be odd. But we're talking about Paul McCartney.
How many miles out did Scott Peterson actually go?
Was he in international waters?
And where do you find out about the currents?
Is drowning a bitch in a lake the same as drowning her in a river? If the bitch floats to Mexico, that means I didn't really kill her in America, right?
Just goes to show we've been doing too much radio today. See, just like we told you, you're going to start.
See, you just talk about anything.
You're just trying to fill up time. All right, here's the latest on Paul McCartney.
They met at a charity event. He sang love songs to her on the phone. They were too in love to even talk about prenuptial agreements, but Sir Paul McCartney and his wife Heather have now separated.
The orchestral version of Yesterday playing. Orchestral.
For the Beatles fans outside the famous Abbey Road studios today, there was sadness at the news, but also questions, because what he did here with the Beatles made him a very, very wealthy man. The question is, what happens to all of that cash if this separation becomes a divorce?
Goes to Yoko? Somehow.
Hey, we can't let this slide because too many people calling now. Chris in Texas.
All right, man.
Chris, go.
Hey, Jimmy, you asked. It's not a pelican, man. It's a flamingo.
Oh, okay. I didn't catch that.
Learn about your birds.
I apologize, sir. I went for the joke, the one-legged joke, and it didn't work.
There's people out there with like
a buzzard.
Sets of encyclopedias listening to the jokes.
No, they just wait.
Looking them up.
But no, Voss is right. I do look like a buzzard.
I know.
Jesus.
Why?
Buzzard.
You took a T and you put a D and put a T there. You fucking taupe.
Buzzard.
Someone would call in about that. It's not a buzzard. It's a buzzard.
I don't like doing comedy. I love doing comedy.
Yeah, but it seems to me like when you do comedy, it's just a road somewhere else. You're looking
when
for
I
TV.
started, it was
Road
to
is
get
the right
laid.
word.
It's a bad
Also
thing.
be a good word.
More audio.
For divorce experts, this could be a landmark settlement, because amongst the richest names in the music industry, Sir Paul's name is at number 2. His total value estimated at £825 million. And on the basis of one recent settlement, that could mean a divorce payout of £200 million. But one leading divorce lawyer thinks the figure will actually be closer to £75 million.
I think Sir Paul has a very special position, and his lawyers will be arguing very, very strongly he should be treated differently from most other husbands, because here we have a man who incredibly has built up massive wealth because, frankly, he's a genius. And geniuses are treated, especially in the divorce courts. There have been cases about that, and that means that Lady McCartney will get a lot less.
Must be a dope thing.
Geniuses, I'm a stupid idiot.
But even with the discount for geniuses, it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
But Sir Paul says their relationship has been impossible because of the constant intrusion from the press. And tonight, through his website, he rallied to his wife's support, saying the split was amicable, Heather didn't marry him for the money, and that she is a very generous person.
Of course.
Here's what Heather should get. She should get maybe half the house and every right shoe in the closet.
You all right, love?
Beat it, you fucking human pogo stick. Oh, fuck yourself. Get nothing.
How does a legless bitch have the nerve? How does a legless bitch... A legless bitch better not fuck with me, and I'm a nobody. Paul McCartney has a woman with one leg that's calling shots?
This is the only reason they should have got divorced. Every time I said suck my dick, she'd say yes, sir, and do it until I told her to stop. I got bored.
What's wrong with this? I always thought like we was hunting the white whale. When I'm looking, when I'm fucking her, I wanted to...
Why does the fact that she don't have a leg, why does that factor into how much she should ask for?
It's just
because
funny.
it's the nerve, Brian.
Because we have to fill 6 hours a day.
Your wife has all her limbs, right?
Yes, she does.
Now, if she loses a limb, doesn't her negotiating powers... Don't you go, hey, bitch, I'm doing the Bogota, and then I'm going to sleep in Atlantic City for the whole week. I'm not coming home. You know what? I'm not coming home till next Friday. Why? Because you missing a limb.
If you can't properly sit Indian style, you should get nothing.
So like in the divorce proceedings, his attorney will go, how many limbs you got? 3? No further questions.
If you can call your bitch Ahab, old Ahab foot.
If you have to move your chair an inch away from the desk to put both feet up, you should get nothing.
If your woman can lift her right leg up and pretend it's a gun.
I don't think she did that. I don't think
like
she
when
did
you
that.
argue, she lifts it up and go, man, if this was a gun, motherfucker.
If she plays the air guitar without lifting her leg.
If you have to screw off a body part before you fuck her.
If all of her pantyhose are stapled.
If she can't play kickball with you.
If he could get a splinter in his calf from fucking a doggy style.
What is it, 1860? You think it's actually wood?
Like a pirate, you know?
Yeah.
Like just a peg.
Just a peg leg and a patch over her arm and a fucking parrot on her shoulder. And he got pissed at what the parrot was singing.
We can help you.
John was the one with talent. John was the talented one.
Yellow submarine's worth $1 million.
Eric in New York.
Bird up, bird.
If she can only swim in a circle.
Go ahead, Eric.
Good morning, everybody.
Hey.
I believe the genius line of Anthony that she worked in the IHOP did not get the credit.
I didn't even know I said
Anthony didn't mean it as a joke.
I didn't mean it as a joke until it came out of my mouth, and Jimmy pointed out that that's a very funny joke.
IHOP, how perfect.
IHOP, she was very good at IHOP.
IHOP.
Travis and Charlotte.
Of course you do.
Travis?
Yeah, man, what's up?
Hey.
Hey, man, I'd just like to say y'all are doing a great job since you've been on FM radio.
Thank you.
I got the XM, and it's great hearing y'all for a couple extra hours a day.
Oh, thanks, bro. You just got the XM?
Sir.
No, I've had the XM since about Christmas.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, I'm
And
wondering.
the Stanley Cup is coming to Carolina.
No, Buffalo's going to win the Stanley Cup this year.
Punching out.
All right. Indy Mike.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
Hi to Brian. By the way, Brian, this is my little bit that I do to help stretch out the show an extra 30 seconds or so in this bonus time, and it's to thank the guys for doing this bonus time. And that last caller said the extra 2 hours. Well, we're into 2.5 hours of XM stuff that the FM folks don't get, so we just love every minute of it.
That's true. 2.5 hours
time.
Exclusive satellite radio.
All right.
We're really good guys.
And since he brought it up,
radio out.
Since he pointed it out, it is getting late.
Brian's a good guy because he really has none of that fucking machismo shit at all. And it's like he goes, well, what does that have to do if she loses a leg? What does that have to do with anything?
Yeah, we've seen it in him. He's got some stuff.
But that's what I'm saying. That question, the way he asked it, and the way he's looking distantly, something is going down. He's having a midlife pussy crisis.
That's your sick mind.
I bet you, Brian.
A wonderful wife.
Of course
you do. But if she loses a limb, Brian, you gonna get some
out. She's out.
You gonna get some college pussy.
No, I need 2 legs and a lady.
My woman, she had a terrible accident. She lost her eyebrow, the whole eyebrow meat. And she's missing eyebrow meat. So you go, fuck you, you're out of
Oh my God. Brian, are you a bastard?
Wait a minute, fellas. Don't make me look like an asshole. Wait.
No, Paris thought we do that.
Wait a minute. Tell me this.
I want to look in the mirror.
If your girl, if whatever, lost a limb, wouldn't it be difficult? You have to have that devil angel talk.
I would break up with her in the ambulance.
Can I be honest?
Back on? No.
Be honest.
For a second with you, can I be honest? Can you even get past the tragedy that would be for her
first 6
and
months,
you to actually go far enough to think ahead how it affects your selfish ass?
The first 6 months of good karma that you're going to try to have by not leaving this
Again, it's all self. There's this ulterior motive of good karma. It's not that you're actually concerned.
He's right. If a girl can catch AIDS through her leg, you should break up with her.
I know. If you're walking down the street with your girl, they call you tripod.
If she can win the 3-legged race without doing anything differently.
If your girl is walking through the woods and you say, hey, when no one's around, can they hear you walk?
If every time she kneels to pray, she tips over on her face.
If her name's Helena.
If her leg can play a record, bitch.
Man. Wow. Like there's no relationship or love in your life.
Absolutely.
If your girl has to avoid golf courses because she may not be able to get out, leave that bitch. Oh my God.
Can't get out. Hole.
If she can't pedal a bicycle.
Oh shit.
Oh, we're going home.
Oh, is that cruel? I love it.
We're going home.
Of course, you'd have to dump her.
Yeah, he's what I'm saying.
When you meet a woman, you should think, would I love her if she loses a leg?
That's the true test, right?
You decide that first. You don't want to be in a relationship and go, this is the kind of lady, if she loses a leg, she's going to be gone in 6 months.
Brian, because we all grown men, really grown, what physical thing can't you deal with? Like if it's like I can't like certain burns. I
facial,
can't
of course not.
Cooties.
But isn't there something that you go, oh my God, please don't let that. I think I could deal with my girl if she lost a limb.
Yeah.
But come on,
sure,
man.
one less thing to fight you off with.
I couldn't deal with mine if I had to start opening for her.
That's on the way. You might.
Oh, please.
You might as well divvy up your motherfucking assets now. Last comic standing 2001 winner, you motherfucker. Last comic standing. That shit was on before TiVo.
Shut up. I love the 80s, 90s, and the 2000s, motherfucker.
That's a show she'll never be able to do. Last comic standing.
First cunt limping. Oh, Jesus. I'm mad because, man, you know, the dude is Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
And it's like even a fully limbed woman should be happy. She's giving them problems. Are you joking? Come on, man. Come on, Anthony.
If someone says...
Come on, mansion tax.
That's Beatle money. That's Beatle money.
She
should
get nothing. If someone says, "Hey, does she tip every time she stands up?" She should get nothing.
If every time she walks, you get up and answer the door, you leave that bitch.
Wow.
Oh my God.
If she's making side money as a kickstand.
If she goes to Australia and car stops so she can cross the street, she should get not a dime.
Oh, shit. Oh, my God.
Let's go to Nick in Cleveland. Nick.
Hey, what's up, fellas?
Hey.
Hey, you got to get rid of her if you can't make the ass-kicking contest joke while she's in the room. Boys.
That's pretty funny.
All right, can we go home now? I want to go home.
You got to get rid of it. You say, hey, honey, you want to go roller skate?
Paul was just sick of walking in the shower and seeing a bottle of Nair and a Black & Decker sander.
Thank you, you fucking ass.
Your legs are a little rough. Did you polish? If she walks through a metal detector naked and still has to stop.
It never ends. It doesn't end.
If they say she drinks like a... Well, forget it.
If her...
No.
Wait a minute, wait.
We don't know anything else about this woman.
If her footprints look like a bouncing ball...
We know nothing about her personality.
If they need a dog with one nostril to track her...
if her leg looks like Robert Redford used it in a movie. It's a natural motherfucker.
I was thinking indecent proposal, a pool cue. I'll give you 1 million. Wait, 500,000.
If you're fucking her and call her Brian Piccolo.
If her nail clippers last 25% longer.
Oh, beautiful, 25. Excellent. Oh, if she says I got to go buy Dr. Scholl.
or Doc Martin. Or a pair of Nike.
Honey, where's my Ked? Sketcher.
Look at Brian's like, come on, Brian,
Oh, they're
one.
funny, man.
Come on, one, Brian, one. Join it in. Take some dirty money, Brian. Just take a little bit of the dirty money. Just one.
If her greatest nightmares are death and soccer.
Drink in Atlanta, drink.
Yeah,
Yeah, if you got to buy her half a garter set for Christmas, or you get ready to fuck her and you say, hey, baby, spread your leg, that's not good.
Wow. Matt in Glen Falls.
That wouldn't have been romantic if there were two legs.
No.
Hey, if you throw her a jump rope and she has to play single Dutch, then you got to get rid of her.
Single. Paul in Chicago.
Hey, how you guys doing today?
Hey, good. All right.
Every time she tans, she has to change her stain.
Her wood stain.
Stain her leg.
Every time she sees a carpenter, her pussy gets wet.
If one of her body parts has termites.
Again, Civil War leg.
Hey. A wood leg. There's so much more to do in wood.
If there's an old black man on a porch carving your leg.
Oh, shit.
So bad.
If you have to get her flip-flop.
Speaking of flop.
If someone has to...
Yeah, why that one?
We went through so many shoe jokes.
If she only has to pay half price for yoga class.
Oh, God, he's running out of there.
I think we might be, could be over.
Thank you, Rich.
The tank is sputtering. It's a little dry.
Yeah, man.
And before she fucks you, she says, all right, twiddle this, motherfucker. Twiddle. Isn't that called twiddling when you
Whittling.
Whittle.
He's out.
Damn.
Let's get out of here. Brian Regan and Caroline's all weekend long. We'll see you down there at some of those shows, and maybe he'll come back tomorrow. Who knows? Patrice O'Neill, thank you.
I'm at Caroline's
Thank
next week.
you, sir.
Next weekend for...
Memorial Day weekend.
If people think she's a politician because she's always out stumping.
Oh, man. Hit the song.